Yo, Craig, this one's for you.
NERDSoul.
Late LK at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing in StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of On Screen. We're here, relaxing a little bit, chilling out because we got the penultimate episode and the finale. We're going to be talking about the season, the highs and lows of Vic, Maggie, Craig, Chris, Ma Dukes, and everything going on in Christmas land. Yeah, that's right. We're talking about NOS4A2. And I want to take a second to talk about how much of a stand-up guy Craig is, or was, you know what I'm saying? All throughout this series, he's really been just a good guy, man. I mean, a good-hearted kid. He never really got into anything, never really did anything wrong, never hurt no one, tried to cross anyone like that. And it just showed in the way people reacted to him, responded to him, were around him and stuff like that. And it hurts to see him go the way he did, but at least he was able to help in the final moments in some way, shape, or form. You know, he had stuck beside Vic pretty much all her life. And the cute thing about this is that they were, you know, kind of like, you know, boy next door, girl next door kind of thing, high school sweethearts kind of stuff. And it's touching and, you know, of course, crushing at the same time that he's lost, you know, he's left and lost, but even kind of to defend the woman that he loves, to defend her honor, that's what kind of set him off in this past. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, Vic got kidnapped. He took that bat and he went straight at Bing. And Bing is not a small guy. But of course he rushed in, you know, and he did take some good shots on Bing. But the problem with rushing in like that is you don't know, you know, you just don't know what you don't know. And he didn't know, you know, about Charlie Manx, and or maybe Vic had told him about Charlie Manx, but I don't think he knew he was there or knew he would show up. You know what I'm saying? He just thought Bing was by himself. I'm gonna catch him on the humbug, blah. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be it. But Bing overpowered him, and you know what I'm saying? It became a struggle. And Craig's not that big, man. And Craig looks like more of a lover than a fighter. You know what I'm saying? And we lost him. You know what I'm saying? We lost Craig to this madness that is Christmas Land and Charlie Manx and Bing. And, you know, it's tough to see him go. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to see him go. I mean, you know, of course he had to, you know, because, you know, you just can't get in that deep and nothing happened to you. But it was tough to see him go. At the end, though, I did like how he didn't shy away from it. He didn't run from it. He didn't cry no tears. He was like, Vic, get your butt out of here. I got this crazy kid. Set this car on fire. Do whatever you got to do. Burn it up. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much was kind of like his goodbye, farewell to her. And, you know, it was touching, man. It was touching. I really wanted to take a moment to be like, yo, Craig is that dude. And I didn't see it at first. At first I thought he was just like, Craig was like the friend. You know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, the random friend that kind of like likes the girl, but he doesn't really say anything about it. Never really gets into it. And I got more than I expected out of him. Way more than I expected. And I like that as a character. So, you know, for this season, Craig turned out being way more instrumental than I thought. And also ended up surprising me near the end. I didn't really see that happening how it happened. I thought his character would kind of just fade out. So that was dope. I like how they played that into, you know, everything that he was doing. To speak on the relationship that him and Vic had, I thought it was cute. I really enjoyed that relationship, you know, high school sweetheart kind of thing, boy next door kind of thing, realizing that, you know, the person that you should be with was always there kind of stuff. You know, that always works. And just seeing their true feelings about each other right beside each other. You know, all this time and being able to be honest before the last moments. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you don't get that profession of love or whatever until like the very last moments. But they knew their feelings for each other before then. So they did get sweet moments together. Of course, we do know that, you know, posthumously, Craig is the dad now. And who knows what's going to happen with, you know, the baby and what goes on after that. If it's going to make, you know, if the child is going to, have the ability to, or if they're even going to flash forward that far, who knows how it's going to play out, or if this is all we're going to get. But man, it's just dope the way they did it. It seemed like a more realistic look at something so fantastical. I also wanted to get on Bing real quick before the break, and how his role has really changed almost to the point where he's going out on his own. I mean, you see him to a certain degree forming his own kind of path and his own mythology, if you will, kind of breaking off of the Christmas land stuff and doing his own version of it. Still very creepy, still very weird, still very, not okay. But the whole issue with running out, shaving his face, going to another city or whatever. And I think he changed his name to Andy or whatever it was, but changing his name and somehow, some way being able to get around children. But I mean, I guess, it's not like he has any, priors or something like that. So, it's not like there will be any red flags, but Bing is just weird. And even the dentist lady, when she saw him kind of like giving the little candy cane to the kid, she was like, Bing, why don't you do what I told you to do and stop messing with the kids? So that, and then also his falling out with Charlie Manx, man. Like, him and Charlie Manx weren't super seeing eye to eye. Charlie Manx was talking a lot about just being on the naughty list and things of that nature. Okay, check it. All right, here. I'm definitely not the only one that was feeling like Charlie Manx was gonna kill Bing, right? Like I can't be alone in that one. They had a little spat. I saw some trouble in paradise. I was thinking, yo, it's a wrap for your boy. I mean, Charlie Manx is not opposed to killing his handlers or whoever, his assistants, whatever you want to call them. And thought he was gone, man. I thought he was gone. Or maybe even seeing a situation where they kind of contend against each other, which we might see in season 2. And I haven't read up on if there's going to be a season 2 or not. I assume it will be. Most of the responses has been pretty positive for this show. The show's grown on me in a lot of different ways. Of course, like Craig and stuff like that you see me, and of course, talk about the family dynamic. But Bing and Charlie Manx being at odds, if they're really at odds, could bring in a whole nother dynamic to this show that I think could be extremely dope. That I'm ready to see. You guys know, if you follow me on any other shows or any other reviews, I've always loved the idea of, a third entry into the conflict. Like, instead of just, person A and person B, but also have a person C, maybe person D lingering around that also have their own axes to grind. I think it makes the show better and, more compelling sometimes because in the real world, sometimes it's not just one group versus another. Sometimes it's, interacting groups, and sometimes people team up, or, my enemy kind of thing. So I want to see how this thing fares out, especially with Bing kind of stealing your boy's style. You know what I'm saying? Bing is definitely stealing the whole flow from Charlie Manx. And I don't know how he's going to feel about that in general, which could be good, could be bad. Hopefully it ends up being some really good TV for us. Now, I got a couple of other things to get to after the break. Of course, the Manx man himself. But first, KURO Brand's gonna help us pay them bills.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Quinto, Sagifo, creator of Black, the comic that asks, what if only black people have superpowers? And this is NERDSoul.
Oh, yeah, check the link below. Hat, shirts, hoodies, all that jazz. And once you find something you like, of course, cop it. Now, let's get into the detective. Remember the detective that I was like, I just knew she was dead? She's not. And her connection and kind of introduction to Maggie is something that I think Maggie needs. I like the detective in the way where she seems like she's honest, she's fair. She doesn't seem like she's a dirty cop or something like that, or she has some kind of weird angle. She seems like somebody who's really, really about hers. And that's something that this show needs, especially amidst so many people that are either just down and out, or people that are evil, or people that are underhanded. She definitely just seems like she's all about like, yo, I'm a cop and I just want to do my job. So I really dig that about her. And I love the fact that she was able to connect with Maggie and for them to work together on, I guess, the legal side of things, you know what I'm saying? Because Bing is still out there. You know, Vic is going after Charlie Manx, but Bing is still out there somewhere and they got to look for him and find him. And Maggie opening up to the detective and the detective opening back up to her is a way for Maggie to hopefully have that type of relationship with a law officer that helps her use her power for good. She did make that comment about kind of like how addictive the power is and how alluring it can be. But she's helping, man. You know, Bing needs to be found because Bing is a danger. Like, you know, like at first we were on some like, yo, Bing is kind of like, you know, a lovable goof or a aloof, you know, big guy or something like that, or a teddy bear that's being like led astray because, you know, he has some kind of mental impairment. And that is not the case. Do I think that he's touched a little bit? Yes. But at the same time, this guy is in no way is he any type of good guy at all. He is not like, he knows exactly what he's doing. Like, he knows what he's doing is wrong. He knows he's hurting people. So he gets no love up in here. But seeing them work together to try to find him is a relationship that I hope grows and builds on the, I guess, the legal side, because of course on Vic's side, after getting through the laundry chute and almost burning to death, and the kid biting her and you know, chasing after her and stuff into the house, and even Charlie Manx with that kind of creepy scene where she was trying to keep him out of the laundry room and stuff. She has a little help of her own, sort of, you know, and now we kind of have two teams with two villains, you know what I'm saying? We got Charlie Manx with Vic and I cannot remember the dude, Lou. Okay, we're gonna talk about Lou for, you know what? I'm gonna get Lou to a second. But we got Vic and Lou versus Charlie Manx and the Wraith. And then we have Maggie and the detective, I cannot remember her name, I do apologize, looking for Bing, you know, versus him. And to see where Manx is now makes me extremely happy to feel like we sort of got a win because Vic she's gone from, of course, not believing in anything at all, and to now kind of being our hero who's stepping into her own. But I gotta put a ding on that record. Due to everything that happened in this season, I don't see Vic or someone like Vic or myself, anyone else not seeing that car melted down to absolute scrap and burnt to ashes. Like, I want that thing, like, I don't want any remnants of that car left at all. And I know we have to have the show, but I don't see Vic allowing that car to go to a scrapyard, to go to an impound lot, any of that. Like, that car has to go, tires, rims, brakes, cables, electric, steering wheel, everything needs to be completely destroyed. Now, you might be like, yo, Mike, hey, you tripping? She blew up the car. You know what I'm saying? She put gas all over it, blew up the car. What else you want? And yes, we did see him, boil and blister on the spot. The cops got him. He's behind bars. He's in jail. And the way he's acting, I don't see him getting out. But with that said, depending on how well the car is restored, he could, utilize his power to do some Christmassy stuff in jail and then sneak out. Come on, Vic. You was right here. You was this close. All right, that car, I want that car smashed and reduced to rubble. I want that thing like completely flattened, yo. And when I say flattened, I mean flattened, burn up, toe up, crinkled up, cut up, chopped up, minced up, and then I'm gonna I'm gonna take some of the car and sprinkle over there, and some car and drop it in a volcano, and some of the car. Look, we just need to make sure that car is gone. But with all that said, I also am up for the search for Christmas Land and how dangerous and how arduous that adventure might be. We talked about Christmas Land in the last episode where we were like, yo, them kids gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like, Charlie Manx is gone, but you saw how dangerous them kids is. You saw what they did, Scissor for the Stranger or whatever. Yeah, those kids got to go. And, I'm just saying, look, them kids got to go. And I know you probably gonna be like, oh, well, they kids. No, they were kids. Now they are ravenous, vampiric, monsters. And they got to go down. So, am I liking this finale? Is it my favorite finale of this year? No. My favorite finale of this year still goes to the 2-part finale for Star Trek Discovery. But this finale is good enough for me to stick around. It resolved some stuff. It brought up some new stuff. And it laid the groundwork for what we might see in a season 2. I'm scared because Vic has a child now, and Charlie Manx is going to want to take that child. That child is in the most danger of any child probably in the world right now, because Manx ain't happy. All right, you know what I'm saying? And he already take kids. So, all right, he hates women, and he already be taking kids. So she's a woman, and she's having a kid. Like, she's the prime target, man. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But do I dig it? Yes. Now, my question to you is, what do you want to see in season 2? You know what I'm saying? What are you feeling about the next step for Maggie, the next step for Chris and Ma Dukes, the next step for Vic, the next step for Lou and okay, look, let's talk about Lou for a second. Why, like, pretty much the only brother in the show gotta have why his hair gotta be like that? I'm just saying, did they have to give the brother the wackest hair they could like find? Like when homie took his helmet off, I was like, put it back on. You know what? It's a small thing. I'm gonna let it go. But I'm just saying, I just want you to know I saw it because I know you saw it. All right, you know what I'm saying? We saw it. The hair was. I'm just saying, man. There ain't no barbershops in Colorado. Yo, matter of fact, if you're from Colorado or you live in Colorado or whatever, you got family. Holla at me. Let me know where the barbershops is because Lou needs to find some barbershops because apparently they're not taking care of the brothers' hairstyles up in there. It's just not happening. But anyway, Maggie's next steps, Vic's next steps, Mank's next steps. I mean, we saw how he grabbed old girl when he was on his deathbed basically and, you know, was terrorizing her there. That is not how you get out of jail, bro. But you're supposed to get out on good behavior. But Bing's next steps. Where does he go? What does he do now? Especially since he's trying to like jock, you know, Charlie Manx' whole flow. I just don't know where we're gonna go, but I'm very interested to see where we end up. This is a show that I was on the fence about in episode 1. And I'm sold on in episode 10. I'm glad I watched it. I dig it. And for all the ups and downs, the ins and outs, I think we have some compelling villains and some good heroes to follow behind. So, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you. Down in them comments, let's talk NOS4A2. Digging the show, man. Digging the show. So, before we get out of here, I'm gonna tell you guys to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right. Check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.ThatNERDSoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt player. Don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right. There's no better way that I can show people that I like what you are watching. So, LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other. And remember, please remember, if there's ever an evil, devil-possessed demon car, when you destroy it, destroy it. Peace.